I don't look at many people on this planet quite this way, but I always had this impression that Dick and Rick Hoyt were invincible, that nothing was going to take them down, and they showed that for the last 40 years. I was running in the Falmouth Road Race 40 some odd years ago, and all of a sudden this gentleman pulls up next to me pushing a wheelchair. I had never seen anything like that, and I said, I'm not going to let this person beat me. Son of a gun beat me. And crossed the finish line, and I said, excuse me, what's your name? And he told me his name, and I told him who I was and what I do, and I put on triathlons. And I said, how would you like to do one of my triathlons? He said, okay. He says, but I got to do it with Rick. I said, how are you going to do that? He says, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. And they did my base day triathlon in Medford, and then Dick calls me up and he says, hey, Rick has a question for you. I said, what's that? He says, he wants to do the Ironman triathlon in Hawaii. I said, how are you guys going to do the Ironman? I called the Ironman, got him in, and unfortunately first year they didn't make the swim cutoff. And then a month later, Dick calls me again and says, Rick has another question. I said, what's that? He says, he wants to go back to Hawaii to do the Ironman again. I got him back in, went over there, did it with him. They finished, the rest is history. They get into the Ironman Triathlon Hall of Fame. I personally inducted them into the USA Triathlon Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Their story is so inspirational. The only time a break tape at the finish line of the Boston Marathon was held, that was not for the winners of the race, it was for the Hoyts. And Guy Morse and I held that break tape. These are moments that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And then on my 60th birthday, they come over to my house, and I run my age of my birthday, and they ran with me, and they gave me a gift for my birthday. I opened it up, it was a gift certificate for me to push Rick in a road race. I never thought about pushing Rick in a road race, so I did. I finished at the 50 at Gillette Stadium, and the amazing part about it is I've known the Hoyts for 40 years. I've been their manager for a number of years, but I've never been alone with Rick, ever. Just me and him. And we were for about an hour that day. It was, again, one of the most memorable moments and athletic accomplishments of my life, crossing the 50-yard line at Gillette Stadium, pushing Rick Hoyt. And then the last one was, Dick called me and says, Rick has another question to ask you. Rick had a lot of questions to ask you. What's that? He wants to run across the country, like you did. He said, you guys are going to run across the country? He goes, well, run and bike. I said, okay. He said, I want you to manage it for us. I said, all right. So I did. Laid it all out. They did. They biked and ran across America. About 2 weeks before they were finishing, Dick called me again. Rick has one more question. I said, what's that? He wants to finish in Fenway Park, like you did. I was like, I'm the only one that probably ever ran into Fenway Park. And he said, the Hoyts? Of course. Call the Red Sox. They ran into Fenway Park. So just the whole thought that this father did not leave his son alone. This father taught us about inclusion, taught us about how you can overcome rejection, that there's always another path. He taught us about a greater purpose, because that's what this is all about. It isn't as much the athleticism, although that's pretty amazing what Dick has done, and Rick. I think Rick is as much an athlete as his father, Dick. But it's all about a greater purpose, doing it for another reason. Team Hoyt chapters have gone all over the country, all over the world. I've seen them. They've come to my races. And that's the legacy that Dick's going to leave behind as what he started, to give disabled children an opportunity to experience what the rest of us have experienced all our lives.